Welcome to Imagine Peace, the podcast that invites you on a transformative journey toward a world filled with harmony and understanding. Together, let's ignite the flame of peace within ourselves and radiate it outward so we can have a future where unity prevails. This is Imagine Peace, where dreams become reality. Join us as we explore the power of compassion, the beauty of diversity, and the potential for positive change.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Imagine Peace. This is our podcast for 10 million for world peace. I'm Teri Angel, one of the co-founders, and so happy that you've tuned in today as we welcome a very special lady in my life. Michele Landers is a board-certified life purpose coach, hypnotherapist, and professional numerologist. She is a dynamic and gifted lecturer, teacher, author, and consultant on the subjects of personal empowerment, spiritual wisdom, the law of attraction, and numerology. Michele was a recurring coach on Fox WFLX Eye on South Florida with Shannon Cake and NBC's WPTV's 5 at 11, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise segment. Recognized and highly regarded as an authority in her field, her books, The Tao of Numbers and The Year of Living Miraculously, are both informative and entertaining. Michele is a much sought-after radio, media personality, and speaker who has taught hundreds of classes, speaking throughout the country. She has assisted clients nationwide to gain clarity and direction in their lives and to discover their own unique talents. Welcome, Michele, to Imagine Peace.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Imagine peace. How wonderful is that, right?
I know.
Imagine peace.
That's what we're all imagining, putting our energy into right now to bring more peace into our world. And Michele, I know that that's one of your desires in your heart. So tell us about what you're doing for world peace.
So my belief is that peace begins with me. That's where it begins. It begins with us individually. And so in my coaching practice, what I hope to bring to most people, no matter what their issue is, no matter what their challenge is, to bring them to a place of peace, because that's what we all desire ultimately, is to have a peaceful, harmonious, and loving experience here on earth. So I like to think that on an individual basis, if I can support people in finding ways that they can have more peace and more serenity and less stress in their life, then they go out in the world. And you know my favorite saying in the whole world, right? Happy people don't do mean things. So happy people, more peaceful people, are going to share that out into the world. So if I meet you, and whenever I'm in your presence, let me just say that, Teri, it's so uplifting because you are peace. You have this energy and this aura of peace and harmony about you. So when anybody is within your energy field, they feel that. And I believe with my heart of hearts, and so many of us do, that it is not only contagious on a psychological and an emotional level, but it is quite literally contagious. So when you spread, just by your presence being peaceful, you're spreading that to others. And so in my practice, if I can encourage people to find that place of happiness or peace in their life, they're going to go out into the world and they're going to spread it. And Lord knows we need that, right?
Yeah. So can you say that's how your work impacts the world?
I believe, I would like to believe that. I would like to say absolutely that's how it impacts the world.
Mhm.
And I also think, and as you know, I am such a proponent, such a supporter of meditation. Meditation, to me, is one of the cornerstones of leading a more peaceful, more harmonious life. And what you're doing and what Marbeth are doing, 10 million for peace, that's how we do it. We bring people together. We spend it doesn't take a lot of time or a lot of energy, because as you become more peaceful, it's just a natural part of you. And when you focus, I know I've heard you say, and I believe that it's like 17 seconds of just focusing on something. So imagine 17 minutes, or an hour and 7 minutes or whatever. What does that do to raise the level of consciousness and awareness and peace in the world? It's really, really almost magical. So I just so encourage people to find ways of bringing more peace in your life, and you will naturally spread that to others. And tune into Imagine Peace and tune into 10 million for peace. We so need it, because what are the consequences of not doing that? I don't think we want to talk about that.
No, no, we don't. So, do you believe that world peace is possible?
I absolutely believe it. I know there are naysayers that say, oh, that's impossible. I believe it's not only possible, but I believe it's probable. I believe that it's kind of written in the stars. And despite what we see happening with our eyes at times, it seems for some people who tend to focus on the negative things that are happening. And what's the reason for that? I mean, if you're I'm not saying that people shouldn't be informed about what's going on in the world, but don't allow yourself to be taken over by it or be inundated by the negativity, because gosh, there are so many good things out there happening and groups that are forming, which has all been predicted that this would happen. And especially in this year, numerologically, the 7-year, which is all about that energy of encouraging people to go out there and explore their spirituality and to find more peace and harmony. So the energy of the 7, which is overriding everything in this world today, I believe has got to be impacting people. And I believe more and more people are attempting to, and actually tuning in to their spirituality and ask those questions. How can I be more peaceful? How can I bring more peace to the world? So I do believe not only is it possible, but I believe it's probable. I believe it's going to happen.
Yeah, me too, Michelle. I think it's already started.
I do too.
Is really fueling that. So, Michelle, do you have a favorite peace practice that you do?
Well, one of the I guess the most important guru in my life is, which we've talked about before, is Babaji. So, and I know, as I just mentioned recently, there's a ashram in Keystone, Colorado, that I would love to visit. And my practice for me to bring peace is, well, one of the ways, besides praying to and meditating with and to Babaji, because I think that's really important, as I said, the meditation, focusing on peace, focusing on harmony, imagining, just like John Lennon said, in his beautiful song, imagining what that would look like, because our imaginations are so powerful, and our thoughts become things. And that's pretty simple. Although people say, oh, come on, how can that be? How can that literally be? It literally is true in my world. And I know in your world that thoughts, you focus on something long enough and you can manifest it. So my practice is about meditating. I love the serenity prayer. The serenity prayer from AA. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you say that when you're in an uncomfortable place or a disturbing place, and really focus on those words and the meaning of those words, I don't know how you cannot be peaceful. So it's little things like that. And maybe I go out in the garden, maybe I do some gardening, but if I want to bring peace into my life, there are things that I do that are peaceful, and they raise my peace thermometer or whatever it is. And what I love, I don't know how many people actually know about all the studies that have been done about meditating worldwide. I know there was something in Washington, but I don't remember what it was. That was quite a few years ago. And a study, I don't know if it was just a study or an experiment, back in the 80s during Lebanon war showed, so you're familiar with that, right? 1,000 people in Jerusalem meditated on world peace. And the deaths in Lebanon went down by over 75% when people meditated. Not only did the deaths go down, but crime went down, traffic collisions went down, fires. There's so many ways that practicing peace, meditating helps to heal this world. It's so simple, and yet sometimes people want to complicate it or say, oh, that doesn't work. Well, just try it. Just try.
Yeah, that's all we ask. Just join in and try. And, it is simple, and it's so uncomplicated that we don't have to put a lot of force into it. We just do it,
Exactly.
Without even thinking I have to do all these steps. It's just so simple.
It is so simple. It is so simple. And non-believers, they may say, oh, that's ridiculous. Like, but even scientists say that it is possible with the collective consciousness to bring peace to the world and learning how to live well together. We have to learn how to not, just turn the dial down on our defensiveness. I have a wonderful meme it's like a little cartoon. It's two adorable monks in their robes. And one monk says to the other monk, you look so silly in that. And the other monk goes, thank you. Just, we take it personally. And I know what some people say, well, how can I not take it personally when you're directing it to me personally? Well, maybe if you learn a little bit about projection, how a lot of the things that we put out there that are negative are just a projection of our own fears, our own anxieties, our own negative perceptions. And a lot of it is how we feel about ourselves. So that's why it's so vital. If you want to be peaceful, within yourself and you want to spread peace, learn more about yourself. Learn to love yourself. There's such a lack of personal love. And I don't mean from an egotistical point of view at all. I mean from a deep space of your deserving. If you're on this planet, if you're alive, you deserve harmony. You deserve peace. You deserve love. But unfortunately, how many of us are either raised, and that's not all the time. There are some very, very, very loving households. And most parents, of course, most parents love their children and nurture them. Not everyone comes from a dysfunctional family, but not everyone doesn't either. But then you go out into the world and, you know, competition. Oh gosh, that's such a hot topic. I understand that in one sense, you know, competition encourages us to do our best and encourages us to do well. I wish there were another way to encourage people to do that just because they want to, not because I want to be better than you. Just to be your personal best, to give yourself that feeling of, I did the very best, but not having to compare it with anyone else. And that's where we run into the issues of low self-worth and low self-esteem and defensiveness, or, you know, I'm uncomfortable, so I'm going to project it onto you because I don't like that feeling. So and that's why I think coaching and all the things that you do as well are so important for people, to help them realize you're a loving child of this universe and you're worthy. Certainly God and the angelic realm and guides know that. And when we know that, when we feel that, and again, not from an egotistical point, just from the place of inner peace and our higher self, you can't help but spread peace. How can you not? So that's why it's so important. I'm sorry to go on and on about that.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I love all your insights, and you're such a brilliant teacher and mentor to so many. So, Michele, how can people find you if they want more of Michele?
Okay. Well, my name's in the bathroom walls. No, I'm only kidding.
I thought I saw it. That was you, huh?
For a good time, call Michele. I will give you a good time, not in that way, but I will give you a good time if you called me. It's my name, Michele Landers, at bellsouth.net or michellelanders.com. That's Michele with one L. And if you go to my website, you can get a free 15 or maybe 20-minute consult with me, which I'm happy to discuss things like this. So that's how people can get a hold of me. And I'd love to chat with anyone who feels like having that conversation. So thank you for that.
Beautiful. And I highly recommend that you all do that. Get in touch with Michele. And
thank you.
At Imagine Peace, we have some beautiful, beautiful people sharing peace and their thoughts on peace, just like Michele just did. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye now.